With fixtures coming at us every couple of days, it was super important that we did not let our heads drop after that disappointing collapse against Palmeiras, and we did get off to a great start against Sao Paulo, taking a 1-0 lead just before halftime. But unfortunately, with just a couple of minutes left, we did let them behind our defense. Pretty sure he was offside. The flag was up, but VAR confirmed that it was a good goal, and we ended with a 1-1 draw on the road. With Corinthians up next, we were hoping to get on the board first and take control of this match, and we did get a little bit lucky on the first 2 goals that we scored. Our initial efforts were blocked, but we just managed to be in the right place at the right time. We would ultimately add a third 60 minutes in, Igor delivering from the penalty spot, and a very convincing 3-0 victory over Corinthians, a team that beat us a lot. We are finally finding our way past them on a semi-regular basis. Then we took on Fluminense, who knocked us out of the cup, if you remember, a couple of years ago. They did get on the board first, but we were able to throttle back. Just a little over a minute later, Victor Reis coming into the box late, making it 1-1. Manuel Rodriguez would put us ahead early in the second half, and we would just turn it on from there. Scoring not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 goals as Edson Jose adds 1 late on, and we absolutely throttled Fluminense at Novelli Junior. A couple of days later, we kept going. Igor off of the corner, making it 2-0. We were fantastic on the road in this match. 3-0 there. Caio Henrique would take it himself and make it 4. We would get a little sloppy later on and let them in behind our defense, and they were able to get 1 back. And then after a red card to Souza Silva, they found their way into a second, but Beto drilled home his second goal of the year. 5-2, a very convincing victory, and we had now won 3 in a row. Which brings us to our match against Fortaleza at home. We are in a tremendous spot, currently sitting 7th in the league. Fortaleza is in that relegation zone, although they did manage to beat us at their place earlier in the season. We are still in a transfer window, and we did make some minor moves. We sent Hermes Tuche out to Botafogo for a little bit of additional seasoning. And we did the same with Lionel Torquete. We just had a glut of players that could play in the midfield and out on the wings. He wasn't getting enough playing time. Wanted to make sure that he would be able to. He is off to Volta Redonda in Serie B. And while he's still with the club right now, I'm still on the fence as to whether or not we are going to re-sign 31-year-old center back Carlau. Now, the fans absolutely love him, but he wants to be an important player. Right now, our staff is only rating him as a good Serie B player. We are moving up the Serie A table, so I'm not sure if the team is passing him by. But that is a challenge we're going to tackle for another day. We have pulled him from the lineup. We did rotate quite a bit in that second match against Fluminense, and one of the changes we made was moving Igor back to center back and giving Eric, who has been developing very well, a chance at that defensive midfielder position. He only stands at 5'10", and he doesn't have the greatest jumping reach, but he's very determined, and as you see from all of these up arrows, he is developing quite nicely as a defensive player. Our staff keeps trying to get us to put him in as a center back. I figured this was a nice compromise. Now, that does not mean that we are giving up on Beto by any stretch of the imagination. As you know, he did manage to score in that last match. He is getting a little gray at the age of 18, so I am a little concerned about that. So Pedro Montevani is going to get the start in this match. It's going to be Ivanzinho, Igor, Canella, and JP after that red card that we mentioned in the highlight package. Souza Silva unavailable for this one. Eric will be at the base of the midfield behind Vitor Reis and Edson Jose. Rodriguez is back in the lineup at left wing. Caio Henrique on the right side. Marcos Antonio returns to the striker. And we are playing this game with the hopes that Canella signs the new contract we have tendered to him. We've been trying to re-sign him for a little while now. When we first began negotiations with his agent, he wanted a ridiculously low release clause for teams in a foreign country. And we feel like as our captain, I mean, he is our captain whenever Gabriel Rosera is not out there. Rosera remains club captain. We do have to make a decision on re-signing him as well. But Canella is out there, shows great leadership, and is absolutely fantastic on that back line. He also has, right now, a ridiculously low release clause to teams in Brazil of only 1.7 million. We're trying to erase that as well. So we backed away from the initial negotiations because we, again, didn't want to expose him to teams in Portugal and Spain and France, wherever we are getting offers from. I mean, Igor has gotten offers from Monaco consistently and Tondela in Serie A in Italy consistently. He doesn't want to go to Tondela at all, and he's happy to stay with us rather than go to Monaco, who keeps giving us the exact same offer every single time. I don't know why they think we're going to take it all of a sudden, because we're not. Oh no, ball over the top. Thalys is in, chips it over the outstretched arm of Mantovani, and Fortaleza takes a 1-0 lead. And yeah, it was Canella, the player, that got beat there. So anyway, we have tendered a new contract. We were able to do it without that release clause to foreign clubs, which I think is going to put us in a fantastic position. Obviously, because we're in Brazil, we do need to have a release clause for Brazil. I think we're setting it at like 15.25 million or something. If somebody wants to give us 15 million for Canella, then we'll figure out what we're going to do along the back line. Approaching the 30-minute mark, Edson Jose in control, lays it out wide to JP. His pass is weak. Comes to Edson Jose, and Caio Henrique just drags it wide. We are probably not going to get a better opportunity than that here in this first half, so we're going to demand more from our team. Even though Fortaleza was slight favorites in this one, just because, again, we are still the new kids on the block. We've only been in Serie A for a little over half a season, so a lot of those odds makers, a lot of the fans, a lot of the pundits haven't really bought in to what we are doing. And while mathematically we aren't officially safe from relegation, I'm fairly certain that we're going to be A-OK. First half stoppage time. Can we make one more push? Ball fed forward. Marcos Antonio up the left wing. Plays it to Caio Henrique. In the middle, Edson Jose cannot solve Gabriel Batista. It's put out behind for a corner, which Caio Henrique is going to take. This is probably going to be the last play of this first half, and Batista coming off his line, grabbing it, will bring us to the halftime whistle. Fortaleza leading by a score of 1-0. We're doing pretty well in possession. We are holding them to we're doing pretty well defensively. We just got beat that one time over the top, something that we just cannot seem to solve. We got pretty stern with the boys over halftime, and 3 changes made for Fortaleza. We may want to look at doing the same thing. Rodriguez in control as we start things off in the second half. Just a single shot on goal for Fortaleza, and they were able to chip it over the arm of Mantovani. There really wasn't much he could do. I mean, that's a one-on-one situation, and if the striker does a good job with their placement, I mean, we really couldn't control that. Marcos Antonio dropping deep. Vitarace, backheel pass. Edson Jose out wide to the right. JP carries it into the box. He's finally challenged, plays it to Eric. His shot will be deflected out behind for a corner, and a great effort from our young defensive midfielder, getting a real opportunity here in Serie A. We've got 10 shots to their 1, 5 of them on target. We just have not been able to solve Batista at all, and we do have some tired legs out there because we are still experiencing a little bit of fixture congestion, although things have opened up quite a bit. Oh, Eric stepping in front of that one, plays it. Marcos Antonio feeds Rodriguez into the box. Caio Henrique finishes it. The flag will stay down, and Ituano equalizes at 1. All right, I held off for about 10 minutes or so before making any adjustments to the lineup. We're going to bring in Gabriel Rosera as the striker, and who else is knackered? Ivan Gino is a little bit tired, so Gabriel Abdias is going to come in. Abdias has actually played rather well in a part-time spot. Obviously, our number 1 guy at left back is currently Ivan Gino, but Gabriel Abdias is doing pretty well. Paulo Alexandre is going to come in. William Da Silva would probably be used in that spot, but unfortunately, he picked up an injury in that match against Fluminense. So he is going to be out for about 6 weeks. and unavailable to us, which is a shame because he was playing pretty well when he was coming on. And honestly, I'm a little disappointed right now that we are only tied 1-1 against the team that is fighting for their lives in Serie A this year with only about a dozen or so matches left to go, and they're in control. 5 minutes left. Ball sent forward. It's not going to be able to find Jorge Teixeira, and Pedro Mantovani will scoop that up. So maybe we can engineer ourselves a counterattack here. JP playing it ahead. Caio Henrique chipping it towards Gabriel Rosera. He is onside. He puts it home. Rosera, the super sub, makes it 2-1. Enrique, what a pass. They are going to check this, but he was onside. Absolutely. I mean, after taking a peek at the replay, it was a little bit closer than I initially thought at full speed, but he was still most definitely onside. And we earn ourselves a very, very hard-fought 3 points. And not only are we unbeaten in 5, we are moving up the table. We're currently sitting in 6th. We have a game in hand on a number of teams, not Flamengo, who is at the top of the table. We are 6 points south of them. But most importantly, Vitória in that first relegation spot is 20 points behind us. And something really important to remember, now it may be working to our advantage, but we are winning these matches against teams that are currently playing in continental competition. Now there are a ton of teams from Brazil that qualify, I get that. But Fluminense, Fortaleza, Internacional, Sao Paulo, even Cuiabá, they are currently participating, and Palmeiras of course, but Palmeiras, they are currently participating in the Copa Sudamericana. We're going to leave our lineup unchanged as we take on Internacional for the first time ever, it seems, or at least the first time in this save. I mean, there's a huge amount of history for Ituano. In fact, the only adjustment we are making is Souza Silva. He has served his suspension. He is back in on the bench. I have been favoring him lately over JP. I think JP gets forward very well, but seems to get a little bit lost defensively. I think Souza Silva is a little bit better on the defensive end. God, look how short some of our guys look compared to Canella and Igor. But, well, it is what it is. We get things started. We're wearing the white, red, and black. They are in the lighter red color in this match. But, you know, I didn't want to mess with anything. I really want our team to start to bet in and have us be a little bit more consistent. We've been fairly consistent all year, but just that little bit more consistent with our team selection. Eric winning it back. Rodriguez gets it, plays it. Edson Jose lays it out. JP's got space as he moves into the box. He'll take the shot, and he cannot tuck it inside that far post. But generally speaking, a pretty good look and a pretty weak clearance from Clay, the Internacional goalkeeper. That one was a little better. He finds Galeno, but JP able to track back and take over from that heavy touch. Caio Henrique cuts it inside, still with it, lays it to Ivan Zinho. Across for his defensive midfielder, Eric, over the top for Marcus Antonio, who is able to put it past Clay. Eric picking up the assist. It is 1-0, Ituano on the road. I mean, you got to appreciate the finish. I think Clay was kind of caught in two minds. He was starting to come out and challenge Marcus Antonio, which meant that he wasn't able to get a lot on it when the ball came and clipped off of his hand. But I will take a goal any way that we can get it, because right now things are looking really good for Ituano in Serie A, but Internacional is in control. Miranda along the near side. He'll be double teamed. He's able to play it back to Barrios, and then finally the safety of his back line, Perez, almost picked off by Marcus Antonio. Thiago's got it. He cuts past his man, puts the shot on, and it's not going to trouble Mantovani. One of the things I did do is I made a slightly more defensive variation of our tactic, and that's with the team instructions that we're going to be using from here on out in away matches. We are knocking the tempo up a touch. Igor just missing the corner to make it 2-0. We're knocking the tempo up a touch so we don't get complacent on the ball, but we are passing it a little bit shorter, and our back line is playing a little bit lower so we don't get beat over the top, which seems to happen to us a lot, especially away from Novelli Junior. Right now, statistically speaking, things are fairly even in this match. We do have a slight edge in shots and possession, which really just disappeared, although we reclaimed it. I'm like the stats that are fluid, I'm talking about in real time. Good ball around the side. Guilherme puts it in. What the hell was Mantovani doing? It's 1-1. I mean, someone explain to me what is happening off of this set piece. We just absolutely fell asleep. Mantovani just lazily sticks his leg out, and it is plays like that, and I know I've harped on it a couple of times. It is plays like that that have really made me feel terrible that we lost Andre, because even though Mantovani is playing solidly, obviously we wouldn't be where we are on the table if he wasn't. I think our goal scoring has kind of bailed him out a couple of times, and we may look to our youth, especially since we are essentially safe in the league. We may want to start playing a young player, whether it's Dora Milton or the guy who's actually starting for our U20 side right now is Jonathan. I think maybe if we put him in, I mean, his aerial reach isn't great. He stands at 6 foot, but he doesn't really get in the air very well. But we don't really get beaten up top very well. It's really that agility we're looking at. And sometimes Pedro Mantovani just does not have the determination to play well. Good ball taken away by JP. Caio Henrique is going to give it back to him along the near side. He's got some resistance in front of him. Eric finds Edson Jose. Antonio Victor Reyes. Rodriguez in for Caio Henrique, and he misses wide. Caio Henrique not really having the match that we were hoping that he was going to have here against Internacional, and tied at 1-1 with 25 minutes left. We may look to make some changes. JP does a good job of getting in front of Perez, makes him dish it off to Guillermo, but Galeno sneaks in behind. He's got a man at the penalty spot, gets around Eric. Guillermo's got it, lays it back. Stenio, his shot will be deflected off of the post. Rodriguez is going to clear. I don't know where Marcus Antonio is going on that run, so Barrios able to get it back for the home team, and we are going to have to make some adjustments to this team right now. Caio Henrique is going to come out. We're going to bring in Mateus Conceição. He is motivated to get in there. Marcos Antonio has had a pretty good match. Eric is looking a little knackered, so we're going to give Beto an opportunity. Eric is not used to playing as often, and JP has played well. So Sousa Silva a little bit nervous about coming on. Hopefully there's no pressure on you. Okay, great. Sousa Silva has relaxed a little bit, and hopefully he'll be able to put in a nice shift here against Internacional. I do want to demand more from this team as well, because we did have the lead. We did cough it up. Pedro Mantovani on a 7.1. Not sure he really deserves that after the weak effort he made on that shot late on in that first half. And here we are again, with just over 5-6 minutes left to play, and we've got a goal kick in our own end. Now, Mantovani is going to take his time. We are also time wasting a little. Well, normally we do less time wasting. We're time wasting in a standard amount. And so is Silva. You've got to be joking me. You have got to be joking me. That is the one thing that absolutely chaps my butt about this team, is we have given up so many penalty opportunities in matches where we are either leading by one or tied. And here we are going to let 2 points, essentially, or the 1 point. We're going to let all the points go, because I'm not 100% sure that we are going to be able to come back with 5 minutes left and tie this one up again, especially because it is an Internacional highlight. They've got a corner kick. Caetano leaves it short. Perez has it, gets around his man. Caetano with some space outside of the box. Great switch of play over to Barrios. Finds Gaetano again, whose shot goes over. Thank goodness that Mantovani did not have to try to make a save. Let's go. We're going to actually encourage the team. I know we're giving mixed messages in this match, and we have gone more attacking. It's not going to matter, however, and in a match where we were leading and probably going to be satisfied with the draw on the road against a team that we are unfamiliar with, well, we end up losing 2-1, and that hurts our chances of advancing into the Copa Libertadores for next year. We are still in a solid position, and one of the things that makes me immensely happy is we are ahead on the table over Palmeiras. They do have a game in hand on us, but even with that game in hand, they would still be behind us. If we can keep them in our rear view, I will be a very happy man. We've got more football to play, but our run-in toward the end of the season is going to come. And while we're off camera, we're going to give one of our youngster goalies a shot, and we'll see how he does.